All right. Sore subject. We've tried this 3 times prior, and every time it's failed.
Actually, I think it was just twice.
Was it twice?
It was twice.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, third time's a charm. But
Right,
our last one was 10 months ago with Grant.
Bullshit.
No, that's the last one that we did.
That's the official one.
That's last official one that aired.
The other ones we were just friends hanging out drinking.
Yeah,
tequila
which I got no problem with. I mean, you can cut the
Jose, you
cameras
got to
off.
bring your seat up, bro. It makes me feel-
I'm like,
when you look shorter than Dan, there's a problem. Just get up and pull it up.
I was like, well, you know, I don't know.
I was like, dude,
like that. Yeah, I know, right? It's like I say, I'm right back.
I was like,
better?
that's
That's better. Yeah, for sure. That feels better. Yeah.
I mean, my feet can't touch the ground, but that's okay.
Are you going all the way up? Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, so it was 10 months. But I like to say, if the last episode we ever did was that one, I'd be happy with it because that was a great episode.
Yeah.
With Grant.
That was great.
I probably listened to it like 2 or 3 times. I learned so much about it. And in that time, Lalo was bought out by Tito's.
It's like we predicted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it.
We talked about the similarities with the brands.
And then
remember?
it happened right back.
Yeah, and then they bought it out. They
That's
bought it out
wild.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. And we had did we have a really nice Lalo after that, and we didn't even, that
We had
one
the
didn't
high
air?
proof.
Yeah.
I think you
it
still
was
got
the
it.
one before
No, I
that,
drank
though.
all
You
that
drank
shit.
out of the high
I think
proof?
I drank all of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did.
What's funny is
Did you have the high proof or was it me?
I think it was you.
you did.
Yeah, I drank it all.
Yeah. We had the high proof, and you drank, and then we drank it the first time, and then we still had some, so we drank it the second time. And so neither one of those episodes that we drank it on,
So maybe it's the Lalo's the bad luck.
it could be the
be
bad,
bad luck,
the Lalo's
yeah.
the bad, there's bad luck on it. So, but yeah, it's been 10 months.
He couldn't be our producer. No way.
Never.
No way.
What's
Not
up,
that
brother?
guy.
But you know what? I like what he says. You know, hey, we're just gonna sit around and drink tequila.
Yeah.
It works out.
Works for me.
Well, our entire lineup's from Cuban. Shout out.
Yes.
So you reached out to Grant, and he threw some names at you. Mm-hmm. So you got
So I got this one called a zumbador, which is it means buzzing or actually hummingbird.
okay.
And I like they have a little motto called non-celebrity tequila. It's like their whole thing is like we have no celebrity. And this was only $27 for the bottle.
Nice.
So and
Is that a repo?
Yeah, it's a repo.
Really
It's a
light
very light
repo.
repo,
Really
but
light.
I do like that they own all their land, they own all their stuff. They produce it all on their own. It's family owned. He said it's getting a lot of hype, so try that one.
Okay. Well, we have also this Espinita was on Grant's list, so I grabbed that double barrel repo.
Ooh,
And then I found this one, and I have not seen this. So this has to be new since last time I went hunting for stuff.
I like that.
But this one's Authentico, and it's a repo as well. Another non-additive. And then Mikasa is one that Jose picked. Another suggestion from Grant. And I feel like after looking at it, I think we may have had it.
We have had that. I was just saying. I was just trying to look through that
but
list.
we didn't have it on an episode that aired. I don't
Right,
believe.
right. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Because I
think
want to
so.
say
Probably
that's one
not.
of the ones our beer distributor down south carries.
Okay.
And they probably sent me that one. So
Well, do you want to start with that just because it's the Blanco?
Yeah,
The rest
let's-
of them are repos.
yeah, let's start
we'll just
with
get a soft launch here going
Start with that. And okay, so I got to start out. Okay, so it's all World Cup stuff right now. So I wore in honor of England. Okay, Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
But you went. Did you go to Mexico?
no,
To the game, or where'd you go?
I went to a game in Kansas City, and it was the Netherlands and Tunisia. And then I went to every host city does these fan zones or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the FIFA fan zone and watched the Mexico game there. It was one of those things I was like, if I'm going to watch this, I need to be surrounded by
Other Mexicans.
and, I just want to feel that that passion or whatever for the game. And they lost to England, but it was like one of the best experiences I had ever had, just being around people that are the emotions are high, and it was such a great soccer game too for soccer fans, or even people that you heard people that aren't soccer fans mentioning how crazy of a game that was.
Yeah.
And it was just watching it with surrounded by thousands of people was cool. And then going to a World Cup game also, that was cool.
Well, you should. I didn't know you were going to Kansas City because my buddy worked those games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a police officer.
Yeah.
and he worked every one of those
Yeah.
games. But he's the one that I was talking about when we went to Minnesota. he was wearing his Chief stuff because I mean he got married in Chiefs
Yeah,
clothing,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But he's the one that I said, "Are you Gil?" And we were in Minnesota. And they're like, "Yeah." Smell some air.
It's good.
Yeah. It is a little.
It's got a sweet to it.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. It's got a little. Maybe it's just because it's
Wow,
our first
though.
one, but there's
got a
just
bite.
Yeah, it's got a bite at the
It
end.
does smell sweet though.
It's got a little bit of a sweet flavor. It's almost like a cough syrup kind of thing, like, you know, a little bit of sugar to help it go, but it's bright. It's got a
Lube it
nice
up.
feel.
Yep.
So who you going for now? Now it's down to the wire.
I hope England wins today, honestly. Even though they beat Mexico, I think I like their team. They've seemed like super humble throughout the whole thing, and I don't know. I like that.
Well, and I got to ask you this because I don't know anything about it, but because I started following all these people who came to America and were like loving America, and just everybody was, and it was really nice to see that people don't think that we're all assholes.
Yeah.
Because we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if somebody came to your bar
Yeah.
you would just like, thank you for coming to the bar.
Yeah.
We're just happy to see them. We want to talk story. We want to hear
Right,
about
right.
their lives. And so I've been following a lot of that. But so all this stuff starts coming in my thing, and so the whole Lionel Messi thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and like the quote unquote fixing of the games and stuff like that. What is your take on that? Do you kind of look at it like the NBA, where you go, yeah, a lot of that is stuff.
And the thing is with FIFA, who is the governing body for like international soccer, I mean, they've been caught red-handed before with bribery and stuff like that. So I don't know. I try to stay out of that because you'll never be able to prove anything. But it has been very coincidental, this Argentina run, and a lot of stuff has favored them. So
but do you think that it's for money or for a country that it's fixed?
I'm not saying it's fixed.
Or
I'm saying
that
if it was fixed.
If it was fixed.
But I mean, like, let's put an example. Like right now, like you're watching, or what was it, the last round when there was a lot of controversy about stuff?
Was it Holland and?
No, it was the Egypt game. It was Argentina,
Egypt. Yeah.
And I told people, and who did Argentina just beat? Crap. I'm losing thought. Whoever they just beat. It was another big team.
Right.
And I told like some of my soccer buddies, I was like jokingly, I'm like, you mean nobody wants to see Egypt play? Right. Jokingly, not in the sense that like for soccer fans, yeah, they were a great team, but like ratings wise, it's like, like why wouldn't you want to see, you know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
the LeBron thing. Messi's the LeBron of like, why would you want LeBron to go out in the first round of the playoffs instead of, the third round?
Yeah, why do you want Tiger Woods to be eliminated, not make the cut?
Yeah, that kind
for
of
ratings and stuff. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess that but then you also look at things like with Cristiano Ronaldo and his team, and how things are done. It's kind of like, and I'm kind of glad that I don't really follow it, because even as I was starting to get involved in it a little bit, I could feel like either anger or things like that about them. Like, okay, there's entire nations that feel like this all the time.
It is
when they're doing this.
I tell people all the time, and it's hard for people to understand, especially here in the States. It is like the most passionate thing. Like these people, like the way they cheer on these people, and it is crazy because people are like, especially here in the South, where you see people that are like, I don't see how they can get into that shit like that. Like, I don't see how they could be that passionate, that crazy about that. It is SEC football.
It's the same
I'm
shit.
telling you.
It's the same shit.
I am telling you.
I can't get it, but I understand it's the same
It
thing.
is the, like, soccer environments at that level. The only thing that I could say that rivals it is, like, going to, which I tell people all the time, like going to Death Valley. In Baton Rouge, and it's a big game. Like, the vibe, the environment there, the passion is second to none. This is like how some of those soccer games are.
I never even liked college football until I went to an LSU game, and then I was like, I'm a fan. It's just the whole. Again, it's the whole. It's the whole vibe. It's the whole.
When you wrap it all up in experience.
The tailgating, the drinking, the hanging out.
We
all
talk
that
about
stuff.
talk about disappointing. Like, that most recent fight.
Yeah, dude.
With Conor McGregor,
the Conor
blew out
McGregor.
his ACL, right? Like, just come out the gate, like,
dude.
And then Patty stopped the other guy in a co-main in a minute and 8 seconds or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like you talk, and then it was the biggest gate in UFC history, I believe. Josh, you want to verify for me, fact check me on that?
But what is a gate?
The most recent UFC 329 should have been. I think the gate was. I think it's the largest gate they ever had.
Yeah.
Like, essentially just the money on it.
Okay. The amount of money that was.
Fees and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, it's going to be, 329, I believe. Just updated. Yep, 25 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Second highest would be the Sphere in Vegas, and the other one was the McGregor and Alvarez. So, like, McGregor has 2 of the highest gates in UFC history.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that how come I keep seeing all the memes about how Daniel LaRusso was able to win the All Valley with one leg?
With one leg, yeah.
For the
He
Karate
blew his
Kid.
knee out, dude,
The Karate Kid.
Lots
thing.
happened, though. Lots happened since one of our episodes aired.
Yeah.
Our boy Matt Schnell retired. Shout out to him. He had been on here since
Shout out
then.
Matt, dude.
He had a good run, bro. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, dude.
Your life has made a huge shift.
Dog. My wife's aunt had passed away. We talked about it at the last episode. We had talked about her, but my mother-in-law passed away, and we lost our dog, one of our other dogs.
Dang.
And so it's just been a really just so much. And here's I don't know. I hate saying funny thing, but here's the interesting thing about life and death. It always happens. You know what happens, and you don't know when you're going to die. Okay, you don't. But everybody kind of looks at death, I think, in a way of you're standing in line waiting to be the next person up, right? You kind of think by age. Unless something catastrophic happens or something, that's most of the time, the older you get, the more likely you are to pass away. So when it gets to the point where the people who are older than you, that you've been around for a long time, pass away, and you end up being one of the older ones, you think to yourself, crap, I'm
up next.
And it may be 30 years from, maybe 40 years
Right.
from now, but you just kind of go, now my wife's the matriarch of the family,
Right.
and I have to give a shout out to the Blake, which is where Sandra stayed. If you can afford it, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it is extreme, about $6,000 a month. That's what you're looking at. Now, on the plus side, you have your own apartment. It's not a quote-unquote nursing
Right.
facility. It's an assisted living. They have a 24-hour nurse. And like with her, the main thing was getting her medication, her proper medication when she was
Right.
supposed to get it. And so they have somebody that does that. And the facility is real nice. And I mean, both Cheryl and I were like, I want to live here. I want someone to bring me my food. Because, food and all that stuff is included. And, but, I've been around, and I would say quite recently, it's quite a lot of death in the sense that you can tell when a person is going. Kind of have that, they're going a little, and then all of a sudden they have that spike up. There's like this, they call it like a second wind. I just call it something, I don't know if it's called second wind or what, but you kind of know shortly after that, it's when it's time, because it happened to my grandfather. And I was there when he took his last breath, and I remember when I went to see Deborah before I went to Miami, I stopped in, I told her I'm going to stop in to see her because I have to leave. And I know we talked about this in the last one, but it didn't air. But I said, I'm going to go see her just kind of because, she loves souvenirs. So if I tell Deborah, I'm going to Florida. What do you want? Give me a bell or give me a pin or some kind of souvenirs, that she loves souvenirs. She collected everything. And she said, I went to go see her, and her breathing was real labored, reminding me exactly of my grandfather's breathing. I talked to her, said a prayer for her. I laid my hands on her, and I told her, Deborah, it's okay, you can go. It's gonna be okay. And I called Cheryl. I said, it's gonna be soon. And so I went to a job, and then I got a call from Cheryl. Says, where are you at? And I said, I'm over here. She goes, can you get to Deborah's, because the lady that's watching her doesn't think she's breathing. Because at the time we only had one car because my truck was out of service. And Lindsay was in Target or something like that, and she just left her buggy and went over there. And she, she's a nurse, so she said, yeah, and she's not breathing. She's passed away. So you kind of start seeing this pattern of how they are and how they their bodies interact. And it was, we had sitters for her because we didn't want her to be in a hospital or something like that. And she was in hospice, and the Blake said, yeah, she can stay here as long as she can, but we can't provide 24/7. So we provided the 24/7 sitters with her. It was a wonderful lady,
right.
Miss Gardenia and her daughter, who also watched Deborah. And we also put in ring cameras, or the cameras in the room, so we could keep an eye on her. And she fell a couple. I mean, it was kind of a good thing we kept the cameras in there, because she'd fall and wouldn't tell us that she fell. Like, Sandra, look, we got it on tape, And so I had told her. I remember we kind of took shifts. Cheryl would take like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift. And then Cheryl would text her family, you know, her brothers, and say, you know, who can take this shift, who can take that shift. So she was kind of like organizing people. And I took a lot of like Saturday shifts, like I'd wake up and I'd go take, you know, and really the shift was just kind of keeping an eye on her.
Right.
If she looked like she was in pain, have them give her anxiety medication, have them give her pain medication. And I told her, I said, the last time I actually really talked to her, I said, Sandra, I said, my mom passed away 5 years. Well, yeah, 5 years ago. I think she passed about 5 or 6 years ago. I said, you know, since in my whole life, I've actually spent more time with you than I have with my mom, because I've been married to Cheryl for 30 years and we've lived here for about 30 years.
Right.
I said, and you know, you pretty much my mom, you know, for all that time. And I said, you know, I know we haven't seen eye to eye on you know, certain things. And she kind of giggled. And I said, but you know, thank you. You know, thank you for everything you did for us. Because she sacrificed a lot. I mean, she did anything for her children or grandchildren she would do. And she said, thank you. She says, it was an honor. I enjoyed it, you know. And so, you know, it was nice to have that kind of conversation. But you know, the time is coming soon. And also, you don't want to see him suffer. I mean, she didn't eat for almost 7 days. So it's kind of like, okay, she's not eating. She's not, you know, when it's time. And so during her funeral, I joked, because I used to tell everybody, because she was the hardest person to know. You didn't know if she was happy, but you knew if she was unhappy. Okay. And so, you know, at her funeral, I spoke and I said, you know, I always told everybody, you know, when Sandra gets to heaven, she's going to be like, well, I guess. I mean, I expected a little bit more, you know, the way they talked about it. And so I said, she had told us that she died and came back. And Lindsay was talking to her. She goes, well, did you see Papa, who's her husband? And she goes, no, he was doing stuff. She goes, did you see Jesus? And she said, yeah, he sent me back. And so I said, probably what happened is they realized she wasn't impressed, so they said, go back. You know, we'll clean up a bit. We'll come back. But you know, she passed away, and it's been really hard on my oldest granddaughter, because they were really close. And it's been hard on the family, only in the sense that, okay, now we've got you know, when somebody dies, there's a whole lot of things to be done. But you know, it's all working out, and you know, we're very grateful that she didn't suffer, in a sense, you know, and it was her time. Yeah. And so, you know, and then, you know, with our other dog, it was her time too. And it comes a point in time for either a human being or a animal that you've taken them to the doctor so many times, you take them to the hospital so many times, as Cheryl had the saying that said, you know, are you doing things for them or to them?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's true.
You start doing things for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, you're doing them. Are you just, you know, putting stuff on them, or are you trying to make them better? So
yeah, I think I always say this. I don't mean it like in any like weird way, so nobody take it wrong. But just from my like years in healthcare and stuff, I always say like there is literally worse things out there than dying, and just, you know, like I've just seen that over the years, like, you know, people that end up in certain states, or you know, like in certain conditions, or, you know, sometimes it's like I see stuff like being done to people, and it's like, why is this being, you know what I'm saying? Like, what?
And you think a lot of times it's because the family doesn't want to let her go, or the family doesn't want that person to go. Or
100%, you know, it's some of that where it's like, you know, they're holding on more than actually the family member is, you know.
And that's a good point, because when my grandfather passed away, well, I don't want to say it this way. When he was on, you know, not well, and he had passed. Yeah. And then my grandmother started like crying. He came back. And it was like, what? It was almost like he heard her voice and he came back, because he's like, oh, it's not okay for me to go. Yeah. You know, so it's kind of like, Grandma, don't be, you know, it's time for him to go.
Yeah, don't let him go in peace. All right, Zumbador.
It smells kind of
reposado. It's a lighter reposado too, for people who aren't watching.
Repo. I like that.
I like the flavor though.
Not bad at all.
It's not it's not overly sweet or I'm looking at the pictures too. It's not overly sweet or anything like that, but for $30.
Oh, I love that.
That's a great deal for $30.
It's hot on the back though. I got it now.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
But it's nice. I wouldn't mix. I won't have to mix it with anything. I could just sip it straight.
I've got to where I prefer to make a drink with a repo now. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. I've gotten that way. If I go somewhere, I'm like, hey, I'll look. It's like a G4 or something on the or like whatever they have. I'm like, here, do that. I'm a sucker for that Lilo too. I'll get that
dude,
shit. Dude, load it up. It's not expensive. It's good.
No.
Yeah.
But
so back to that fight. What were your thoughts when you saw that shit happen?
Dude, I was fucking pissed. Well, I wasn't pissed. I was indifferent. So here's the thing. I would love to see Conor make a comeback. Like I don't want him to come get waxed and not come back. Just because it's like he's done so much for the sport. Right, he's annoying as shit. Yeah. And who knows if this is some kind of act he has. But I think that Holloway's game.
Yeah, dude.
Holloway is game. Holloway has grown so much. They fought last time they fought was 2017, I believe.
Yep.
So like he's game and ready to go, and it's just unfortunate. But Holloway was his sportsmanship was like very high. Like he saw that Conor was hurt and he was pointing to the ref. And the ref said keep fighting. Conor's on the bottom like let's fight, and then he got back up, couldn't put weight on it. He realized he blew it out, and it just. Like, there's a lot of, like, controversy circling around saying, like, he was hurt previously, maybe. But we'll never really know, I don't think. But the thing is like, here's the thing. You've made all the money. He never needs money the rest of his life. Again. He's, like, and it's not fighting. He's made money on everything else, on these huge boxing matches, on these, his beer, his whiskey.
The whiskey,
He owns half of BKFC or however much he owns. He owns, so, like, he's made plenty of money. So he's put his heart and soul to come back in. He broke his leg and femur in half. Yeah. Rehabbed it. It's been 5 years. That fight against Poirier. He rehabbed it. He gained probably 60 or 70 pounds. So he's had a journey. So he really wanted to come out and perform.
Yeah, and I thought he was. From what I saw, I thought I wasn't saying like he was going to beat Holloway because it's a different thing.
Fought 5 years.
Yeah. And
Holloway's been fighting every 6 months.
He's a monster that steps in every 3 or 4 months.
He just knocked out Justin Gaethje.
Yeah. And but he did look like a different Conor to me. Like he at least took it seriously, kind of a thing.
He looked more respectful. Respectable.
Yeah.
In my opinion, less chaotic.
Right.
And then he come out and did that shit. Which that's what he always comes out and does something crazy. So maybe that's another thing. It's like Father Time's a motherfucker, dude. You can't run out and do that either. You're 36 now. You're not. Last time you fought, you were 31. You know what I mean? But we'll see. He'll come back. And it's like I would love to see him. I don't even know who I'd like to see fight Gaethje next, but that whole thing is crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel. Do you feel this way too? And I'm sorry to go on a UFC.
No, please go ahead. No.
Like the UFC's kind of lacking stars right now. I mean, for the mega stars. For us,
that 250 card was phenomenal.
No, for us, like you see.
Did you watch it? The White House? Dude, it was phenomenal.
No, I think I'm a grandkid.
The first time ever. Every single fight was finished in the first. Finished by knockout. Excuse me.
Was it
the entire card?
I mean, I saw the publicity of it. And I read about it.
It was phenomenal. I think the Paramount deal has given them more fights. Yeah, and so it's hard to stack a card. Yeah. Used to, it was like, dude, you got a 3-month lead up, and from the prelims to the main event, there might be 2 people you didn't know. Right. You know what I mean, 2 fights you didn't know out of 12. Where now it's like, man. If we have a card full of people, I might not know half of them. Right. But I was satisfied with that card. There were a lot of good fights on that card.
That Patty, that was impressive.
There's one coming up on the 18th. It's going to be good. It has 2 good fights on it I want to see. But I'm getting back reinvested. There for a while, I was kind of like, meh. Yeah. I think the Corona and Rousey thing brought me back to it because I just haven't been paying attention because I've just been so busy. Yeah. But of course, like Dustin's last fight, that was I was game for that.
Yeah, that was
and then
cool.
Matt's last fight, game for that. And then you saw that dude who beat Matt. He was on this prelim card.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
He was on that. Okay. And he won. I was like, holy shit! So that dude, he just come off a fight with Matt. Yeah. And I guess this other guy who he was fighting, I can't remember. The opponent, I guess something happened because I saw that they scratched it. Yeah. And I guess he took it last minute. That guy. So I mean, that little dude, credit to Matt for he had a game opponent. That little dude's climbing the rankings.
No, I mean, I still love it. I guess my comment was just McGregor was just, and so you see so many people try to emulate that, and it was just like I get all the negative that Conor has done, but as a fan of the sport, you got to accept
he did.
What
he brought it. He brought it. He did. It was just perfect. It was kind of like Stone Cold.
Yeah,
in WWE
and he was,
era,
and he was, and he was this dude, when he was talking shit to people or when he was clowning on people, there was such an authenticity to it that made you like either love or fucking hate this guy. You know,
I fucking hated him.
Yeah,
I hated him.
But dude, and then like after a while, you learn to respect it. Like what he did to Jose Aldo, dude. Like that was just like, bro.
Oh yeah, that front kick.
You literally clown this guy.
Oh, he got in his head.
Up and down.
He got his head.
Yeah, and as soon as this guy was unbeatable up to that point, and he knocked the dude out like.
He walked in and front kicked him.
Yeah,
like, but he had been. Jose was such a respectable athlete. He had never talked shit to an opponent, and he was a champion. And Conor just was on his ass every time there's a press conference or an interview and like anything. And then he walked out and you could just tell it wasn't the same Jose Aldo.
No, he was not.
He took a spirit from him, like kind of like Ali used to do.
Okay.
You know, Ali
he beat you before he
fought you.
Yeah, he went out there angry and reckless and doing stuff that he does not do, and it just he pretty much. I mean, he never bounced back from
psychological warfare more than
and he was very good at it. He didn't do that for this fight. He said he's found the Lord. We don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's whatever marketing. I don't know, man. But either way, I would like to see him come back. I want to see that fight.
Yeah, me too.
And Holloway, like he beat Holloway.
Yeah,
but that was.
I mean,
9 years ago.
I mean, he beat Poirier too, and then they came. And
then Poirier beat him, and then they had that last fight.
Yeah,
like
the game catches up to you, I think, and I think time caught up with him on this one. Yeah. But I would like to see him go out like with a.
At least get a fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Patty, dude, St. Denis, dude, he submitted this dude. So it was like you just need to like. Do you have Paramount? Do you watch any of this? You probably don't.
I do it. Well, my son has it, and
it's worth watching. You pirate
it. Pirated from him, but
it's worth watching. Like if you go, what's cool about Paramount now? And people have mixed reviews, but you can go and you can click highlights from each fight. So you don't have to watch the whole fight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you can go and you can pick, like we're talking about these fights, you can go click on them and
just pick the highlights.
And then a minute, you're done and you saw what happened, and it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
So like if you miss a card and you like shit, you can go back and at least you can go watch the whole thing, or you just get the highlights and see what happened.
Well, I mean, I will tell you this though. I mean, this has nothing to do with fighting, but the fact that you said that remind me. I rarely buy premium subscriptions to anything. Yeah. Okay. But I got the Spotify premium subscription.
Have to.
Yeah. The absolute best
That's what I have,
decision I've ever made.
I got that.
All the books that I'm listening to, all the not having to listen to the ads, and my son actually is the one who turned me on to it. He said, "Dad, you got to get it." And he sent me a link, and I ended up getting it. And I sent a message like, "This is the best thing ever." I don't have to listen to the same ads. I can rewind. I can do this.
Yeah,
but the reason I got it. When are we uploading this?
This is going up quick because like I'm behind and I'm about to leave it for Mexico, so there won't be an episode for 2 weeks. So this is going up this week. Because hopefully Josh edits it today or tomorrow. It goes up by the end of the week.
While we were this doesn't premiere till next week, but
this will premiere this week.
No, I'm talking about something that I was a part of.
Oh, okay.
So, but the reason I got it, the reason I got that was because I'm in a music video.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm playing drums in a music video.
Sweet.
For a local artist named Lance Thompson.
Yeah. So was it Sarah's doing
Sarah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Sarah was cool. And I had gotten a text from her. She goes, "Hey, what are you doing on August the 14th? Or what are you doing on the 14th?" I was like, I don't have anything planned. She was like, Lance Thompson, they're filming the music video and they need a drummer, And I was like, well, send me the song. I'm not gonna commit until I listen to the song. So I listened to the song, fell in love with it.
Okay.
It's called Train Coming. And it's very, I think it's Texas blues. I kind of think of it more as like a Texas blues song, like very Stevie Ray Vaughan type of style. Fell in love with the song.
Song's already out. You're just
song's already out. Yeah,
dropping.
Yeah, we did the video, and he's actually already announced on his social media page that a video was filmed. And blah blah blah. But it premiered. We're actually going next week. They're having the premiere at a movie theater. And so I'm taking my oldest grandson with me because we have our grandkids that night. So I'm gonna take my butterbean with me to see Pop playing a music video. But
nice.
The reason I got it was because I had to learn the song, right?
Yeah.
And the only way it was available was on Spotify. Well, you can only listen to a song so many times on Spotify before they go, you can't listen to the song no more.
Yeah.
So I got on it, and so I was like, okay, because I had to stop listening, rewind, and stuff. But I've been in a part of other things, films. I did the thing for the Golf Channel with the hell's his name? Sammy. And so I've been part of things being filmed and everything. But I met the first time the bandmates that I met was that day, and we played, although you're not going to hear us play because it's all on that. They were just a really good group of guys, and Lance is a really great guy, and I liked him. I liked his energy. We went through that song probably about, I'd say at least 30 times we played the song, and every time he had the same amount of energy. Every single time he did it, and every time he performed.
Where'd you shoot it at?
We did it at the what used to be Rockin' Rodeo. What's it called?
Big Country.
Big Country, yeah, Big Country. We did it there.
Oh, so like during the day, they shut it down.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah. Well, actually, it was like on a Sunday. So we did it.
So this is like a what is the genre for this one?
It's I don't want to call it country because I don't really think it's country. I think it's more
like Southern Soul.
Yeah, I'd say maybe it's more like Southern Soul. It's really nice. If you get a chance to listen to it, it's called Train Comin' by Lance Thompson, and it's got a really good. It's got a straight drum drive. It's got some really good guitar, but like I said, it's very Stevie Ray Vaughan-ish.
So my question is, what did he not have a drummer? Does he not have how did
he doesn't? Well, when they recorded this, he actually got some studio musicians from Nashville to record the album.
Got you.
So he doesn't really have a band. He's just kind of a solo performer.
Well,
he's a solo performer. And it's not. They're not difficult. I mean, like I said, it's a straight drive. It's got a couple of things on it that are really cool. And I'd probably play it a little bit different way, but I didn't write the song. I didn't do that. But being a part of it was fun, and just being able to talk to my grandkids about it, say, Papa did this. And so I had a set of drumsticks that I used in it. I gave them to my grandson. I'm like, here, Papa's drumsticks. But he came to church with me a couple weeks ago. I think on the 5th of July, the day after 4th of July, because my daughter's, their church, they didn't have church because everybody was out of town. So I picked him up. He came to church with me and got to see Papa play, at church. And he sat in the front row with Michael and Monica Stroy, who are really good friends of mine. And Michael owns a construction company, builds beautiful homes. And he's a really good friend of mine. He likes to golf and everything. And he sat with them up in the front row. And it was just such a joy just watching him, just clapping his hand, dancing. And I mean, that boy loves the Lord. I have never seen a child who was more, about loving people and loving God, and I keep telling Cheryl and I are talking about, like, he's going to be a pastor one day. He's going to be. He's got no hate for anything of any sort. And we were talking about something one time, and something about, and he goes, well, don't they know who Jesus is? And we're like, baby, I don't know, because I think it was like a movie or something like that. We were talking about something like that, but he's got the most beautiful spirit of a child, I've ever seen. And but speaking of movies, have you seen Obsession yet?
I just watched it. It's fucking good.
Isn't it?
It's good. I was not prepared for the ending.
I laughed.
Have you watched it yet?
I have not.
I laughed too.
I laughed at the ending because it was so well written.
I was on the fence about it. I was like, every time you get a suggestion on some platform, you're like, Rotten Tomatoes, I don't really trust them for anything anymore. Mm-hmm. But I guess I'm kind of like because like Rotten Tomato critics are kind of like the hippie against the grain critics.
Yeah.
I think now I'm the other version of against the grain of the Rotten Tomato critics. But so, anyways, it's good. It's good. Wow. I just watched it.
It's great. It doesn't rely on. I'll see your reaction.
The budget was like very small for that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
And they made way more.
Oh yeah, they made like $400 million or something like that.
Can we pull that up, Josh?
Yeah, they made like $400 million.
Yeah, it made more.
What was the budget on it, and then what did they make? Did you watch it?
It was like $40 million or something.
It's crazy, right?
An amazing movie. I love it. I love a good story.
I'm like, I know some people like that.
What'd you think?
That's delicious.
That is amazing.
And the fact that that's no additives is insane to me because it's so sweet. So sorry guys, we're doing Authentico. Yeah, Authentico.
No, I have not watched it.
So at a budget of roughly $750,000, and it's grossing over $427 million
worldwide. And Blumhouse got behind it too.
Yeah.
So is it Blumhouse or Blumhouse? I always say Blumhouse.
What do you mean?
How do you pronounce the one of the companies? Blumhouse. Like the horror movies. Like, do you ever watch horror movies? Like Blumhouse. It's like the BLUM house. How do you pronounce that? Can we look that up? Because I've always probably said it wrong. Can we look up Blumhouse and see how to pronounce it? BLUM house. How's it pronounced?
Yeah. Blumhouse.
So I've always said it wrong. I always say Blumhouse. But anything they're behind is typically good.
Yeah.
Because I love a good story. I love, and the movie did not rely on special effects or jump scares. It was all story driven.
It was realistic, other than the concept, but it was realistic. Like everything, like you could, I don't know, like when they stuffed the cat in the bag, you know, like it was like, but like still, it was.
It was great, but I encourage anybody, if you haven't seen it, see it, because it is. My son, he went to go see it. He goes, yeah, I'm going to a movie, and he said, I said, what are you going to go see? He's like, Obsession. And I was like, it's like, oh, I said, I think I've heard of it. And so we got out, he goes, and so he texts me, he gets out, he goes, bro. That's all he said was bro. It's like, good? He's like, bro. I was like, okay. And I said, and so I started doing some research, and so he said, you have to watch it. So he came when he was in town last time. We rented it. Cheryl didn't watch it because she's not a big horror fan, and I don't necessarily
think it's horror. I would say
it's more suspense.
Yeah, I don't even know how to label that movie. It's in the horror category because they part of the production, but I don't.
Yeah.
But
I would say the only gory part in the movie, you can tell it's not a real person.
Right, yeah.
But the and during that whole time when that was happening, I was like, oh my God, I'm laughing at that part too. I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, as it's happening.
I was like, damn it.
And
I was rooting for her.
I know, right? Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Son of a bitch,
like, come on,
bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I just was getting flashbacks for like when I was in high school with all them crazy ass women. I was like, this is
and that's what I love, seeing all those people who go, that's you.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, that's me, that's us. I was like, wow. It's like, that's a Latina. That's
yeah. But it's no, it was great. But this right here, Authentico, is very good, very good. One of the better episodes.
He talked about how it was a sweet tasting, and he was
this
a big
wasn't
fan
on
of
the
it.
list.
Wasn't it?
No,
I thought he sent it.
no, did he?
Authentico.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I just picked that one. Let me pull this up. In fact, checking myself.
Yeah, check because I sent that text message.
Check my sources here.
Check and see.
So
Authentico.
no, Authentico is not on this list.
Okay. Well, good job.
I just saw it and I was like, I always like, oh, the color.
Now, is it
Yeah.
It's not on the non-additive shelf?
Yeah, it was organic.
Organic?
I mean, I believe that's the same, right? It's right next to all the other stuff.
Yeah, it has to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Small batch organic tequila.
Yeah. Can we pull up this one, Josh? Authentico.
Here, let me give you the NOM number. NOM is 1124.
I was spelling this.
Authentico.
Yeah. Like authentic with a O at the end of it.
There you go.
The NOM is 1124.
Yeah.
What is that?
NOM 1124.
Yeah, the NOM number tells you which distillery.
So of course,
Additive free.
that's
shit is
free.
great, dude.
That's just phenomenal for added free.
Produced at Tequila del Señor.
So they have a Cristalino too. Ooh, we got to try that. Got to.
Do they have an añejo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll try the next two next time. I'm gonna try both those.
That's
next
my
time.
favorite. Is like trying an
We'll do
añejo
that.
after that.
Dude, I was looking at this thing the other day on Instagram with this page I follow, and you know that like it's
good.
wild because certain the tequila boom in the U.S. is kind of like on and popping.
Yeah.
So like people in Mexico are complaining like, hey, there's certain tequilas like shit's made here, and y'all are sending all of it over there, and it's like
because they can get more money for it.
Yeah, and it's like it's just kind of like this thing that's happening that I was like this guy was talking about where it's like certain manufacturers are manufacturing to sell it to the U.S. not to the
Exclusively?
not to the local market.
It's like weird about the resorts over there. I'm leaving Sunday, and we'll be there all next week. Which I'm excited because we haven't been there since last year. I've been trying to get a vacation for the past year.
Take a vacation.
Like an actual, well, yeah.
You're smart to do that.
So my wife and I are going by ourselves, and then we come back, and then we have our annual Destin trip with like Meeker and them. So it's like back to back, which I've never had a 2-week vacation in my life, so it's crazy. But like,
good for you.
when you go over there, you're not getting, and we talked about it a little bit, I think, on other episodes. You're not getting stuff like this.
Right.
You're getting fucking like Don Julio, whatever.
Yeah.
So like typically, they'll have Centenario, and I'll just get that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's just do that because everything else is kind of bullshit that you would get here. It's kind of like, man, it's frustrating.
Yeah, and I think that's like what people are saying, that like it's like some of these like well-known brands, it's actually easier to get in the U.S. than it is in Mexico.
Well, a buddy of mine sent me a message a while back. He goes, "Hey, I'm in Mexico." He goes, "What's a good brand?" And I told him, Los Abuelos.
Yeah.
I was like, get that if you can get that.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the better ones, and that's what they call it over there. So
You're not going to get that at a resort, though.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know what he's going to find. I said,
like when my dad went, he got us that bottle. He literally, he said I had to custom order it, and he was like, "What do you mean I got to custom order it? The fucking factory's hour and a half up the road, like."
So where does he live at? Or no, where they're from? I mean,
yeah. So he's from a little town outside of Guadalajara.
Guadalajara. So that's an hour and a half from Jalisco.
It's about. So he's an hour and a half from there,
right?
And then Tequila is they're all cities in Jalisco.
And then you have Puerto Vallarta. Puerto
Vallarta is on the coast,
right? But it's not far from there.
No, so I think a lot of people.
That's where I think I'm going to go next.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours out of Guadalajara.
Now, how big is Jalisco if you were to compare it to something we know, like Dallas-Fort Worth or something like that? How big is that area?
Guadalajara is a pretty big fucking city. It's the capital of Jalisco. Guadalajara is the capital of Jalisco, so it's the second biggest city in Mexico.
Okay.
So it's pretty. I mean, it would probably be like a DFW.
So would you consider it as a quote-unquote state within the country or a city within?
Can we pull up population of Guadalajara?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll start freezing over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I bet it's pretty fucking massive, And it's crazy because honestly, like some of those places, and it's when like, we're talking about the World Cup stuff, like people that went to Mexico, they're like, shit, I thought Mexico was going to be like fucking, and they're like in Mexico City, and they're like, this is a very civilized, there's
1.3 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, DFW's what, 5 or something like that?
Yeah. So a little smaller, but I mean, it's a big
triple
city.
the size of here.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's great. No, I was just seeing that tequila stuff where I was like, damn, people over there like struggling to get
to
stuff.
the size of it.
Yes. But that's Jalisco.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the furthest south I've been is Delicias. That's as far south in Mexico that I've ever been. And we drove there, so.
People have a misconception of Mexico because you see stuff on TV and you just think like, West Texas into desert Mexico. But there's a lot of beautiful areas.
Dude, there's some parts in like Mexico City where you think you're in Beverly Hills or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of rich motherfuckers.
Well, dude,
too.
I've only been on the other coasts around Cancun and Riviera Maya and Tulum and the cenotes and beautiful beaches. That stuff. I mean, it's beautiful.
Well, I follow a lot of surfers, and they're like in Mexicali a lot, and down, surfing and which some areas are nice, but there's also the bad areas that you have to go through in order to get to the good areas, and you have to grease some.
I'd love to. I mean, we always talk about it. We need to go to Tequila one day and just.
We will, dude.
Do it.
We will. We can do a remote podcast.
It was wild because you were talking about all the foreigners coming in for the World Cup. Mm-hmm. One of the funniest things I noticed is they have these places and they're like bars and they call them cantaritos is what they call them. Mm-hmm. And so literally they gone viral for they make these drinks and it'll be like those clay drinks. Mm-hmm. And they're literally
that's the name of the drink too.
Yeah, pouring like 2 fucking bottles.
Exactly. I was like, oh my god! And
they went viral because during the World Cup, Korea played in Guadalajara. So the fucking Koreans discovered this place.
I love that. Those are my favorite.
Time of their lives, dude.
All the making us like all the Korean Mexican babies that are gonna be born 9 months from now.
Bonita coming up double barrel repo.
Yeah, well, I was excited for Sage because Japan was playing in Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, he was there, and I told him I was going to talk about this. He went to Japan.
Oh, nice.
Sage went to Japan.
I remember you telling me he's going.
Yeah, he went. In fact, that's where this is from. This is from the Harry Potter Tokyo thing. Cool. But he went to Japan for 2 weeks, and he didn't go on a tour. He did it all on his own. He went by himself.
Saved a lot of money, probably.
Probably saved a lot of money, but also it's like he did the research. He flew Japan Airlines. He flew out of DFW, and he, flew business. I think it was like a preferred preferred something, and so he had like a little bit of a little bit bigger area on it, and he met a lady from Japan next to him, and he can speak Japanese, and what's crazy is he said, I didn't know how good my Japanese was until I got there and I started speaking it and I started understanding it, and then every time he'd go someplace they would ask him in Japanese, or that, do you speak English, English. He's like, no, I speak Japanese. And so everybody was like very excited, very happy. And but he was there for 2 weeks, and
that's a very difficult language because Josh, you practiced some of it, right? And it's very difficult.
Yeah, no, it's not. But here's the thing: when he was a senior in high school, he started learning it.
Gotcha.
And that was his. And since he was like 10 years old, he's always wanted to go to Japan. And so he went, and we told him, look, you're an adult, but you're there by yourself, so at least let us put a tag on you, like your
share your location.
Share your location with us. I don't care if you go to you can go to a Japanese brothel. I don't care, just so that we know where you go.
Right.
And so we kind of kept. Let's hear. Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
Let's try it out. Espinita. Son of a bitch, that's good too.
Nice.
Did that say double barrel on it?
Yeah, double barrel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's why. That's
Two
why
bourbon. Yeah, double bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
That is nice. I love that. And that's a good price point on that one too, right? It's not very expensive.
So
like
that
40 or 50.
All of these were under 50. I could tell you actually. I'm going to pull it up because just in case people are wondering.
And I love the bottle.
The Mikasa was 49 for the Blanco. Espinito double barrel Repo was 45.
Wow.
The Zumbador was 26.
Dude, that's a fucking bang for your buck.
No, excuse me. That one's 28. Excuse me. 28.
With tax, it's like 30 something.
And then this, which one was this? The Authentico, I believe, was 45 or 48.
Yeah, so all very reasonable prices. Reasonable prices.
Like before we were doing this and we were getting $100 bottles, $150 bottles, and we had a lot of trash.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, I have my out, like I walk in there, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna try this next. And so I already have a list. I took pictures of stuff. I'm like, okay, next time I'm getting these things just because they look appealing to me.
Well, I had texted Grant, and I know we talked about this last time too, but we have that new place that opened up, that wine, the Wine and More or something like that. Total Wine. Yeah. I haven't been there yet. I haven't been there.
I have been there. I will admit that I have been there.
I haven't. I did they paid me to do their catering to Grand Opening. But I have not shopped there because I was like, I feel like I'm cheating on.
They got a picture of me in that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, well you got beer in there. You got beer in there.
Okay, well that makes sense too. But
like me, Sam, and Colby, people always send me pictures like,
we've been there for business. We haven't been in there.
But a lot of it is like definitely like small business. Okay, for example, and I'll get back to Sage's Japan trip.
Yeah.
But you had Tubbs.
Don Tubbs.
Yeah, Don Tubbs on, right?
Great show.
And actually, I was there the other day, and I told him, I said, I would love that. It was a great podcast. I really enjoyed it. And my daughter.
What did he say? Did he?
Here it's like, oh, that's great. And I told him, I said, my
he'd never done one before.
Yeah, I said my wife's grandparents used to live by you because they live back here. They used to live back here too. Virgil and Thelma Nix. They live. My wife's grandparents. They live back behind where La Italiano is or whatever that place is. Live back there. And I said, yeah, there used to be a park there, and she used to tell me there was a plane, like a static display of like a jet. And he goes, yeah, there was. And so I told him who the names were. He goes, I do. I remember them. And so it's just kind of like a small community. So. Cheryl would always say, all this used to be like a park with a pool and all this other things like that. And but his story was really good because he talks about how the art of customer service is lost on a lot of people. And those of us who have had businesses, those of us who understand the value of customers, I just get potting soil. I could have gone to Home Depot or something like that, but no, I went to him.
Yeah.
And you know what? They took me to it. They said, well, what you got? You got this, you got that, and if we don't support businesses like Tubbs or Cuban Liquor, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
And all we're going to have is people who go, they've told me this is the best tequila we got.
Yeah.
We've got a crate of it in the front in all these boxes for a special price. In other words, we're just trying to get rid of it.
Right.
So
Our
why don't you
tequila's
try
back
this
there.
one? Yeah. Or why don't you try this one?
Yeah.
Well, have you had it? Well, I've heard it's really good, or I've heard of this. And so to me, it's kind of like, okay.
Well, it's funny though because we've transitioned, right? Because when we started this, you were going to Total Wine or Specs or wherever in Dallas and bringing stuff here because we didn't have a relationship with Grant yet.
Yeah.
Well, all the while, we had someone here locally that had the stuff but we didn't know. And it was just a matter of disconnecting network.
Yep. And now every time I want to try something new, I'll text Grant.
Right.
Go, hey, what do you got? And he gave me suggestions. You know, these are the.
But I was doing the same shit. I'd be over in Dallas for something, and I'd text you. I'm like, dude, I got to text you. I'm like, I got this stuff. The whole time, we could have got it here.
Right.
You know, it's just.
And I think, like last time I said, you know, when we had the Laser's Edge, and somebody would call us, if we don't have it, I don't care if you go to Amazon. I don't care. You know, if we don't have it, we don't have it. I can't get upset at you for getting something we don't have. Right. Okay, but thank you for at least asking us.
Yeah.
For first coming to us and going, hey, do you guys carry this? You know, do you guys have that?
Well, it's service first, man. Like it's one of those things. Like it's anything, which we know that because you've been in BNI with me and Jose down here working with everybody. Like we know it's like, dude, I'm gonna sacrifice a couple dollars for someone I know that I can. Like I'm not. Yeah. Like if I ask you for something, I don't worry about what it costs. If I ask like someone down here, like, hey, you know, whatever, I'm not gonna say how much is that. Like I'm just give me an invoice.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about it. Like you know. A buddy of mine does all my firewood. He come by and he does landscape and all that. And I was like, dude, look, we got the new house. We got to run through all the landscape because it's grown up. And he's like, well, it's not gonna be cheap. I was like, I don't even care how much it costs. I was like, I'd rather you do it than me try to price shop someone I don't know.
My time is worth more than
someone that I'm not comfortable with being on the side of my house cutting limbs and like just I'd rather
and those relationships too. It's like I'd rather pay you because we have a relationship and I know that if you ever need something from me.
He was at my house last night. We were unloading firewood at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So like he drove, you know, firewood to my house. We're unloading at 9 p.m. Like of course, yes, 1,000%, whatever it costs, like do my stuff because, you know, it's just one of those things, man. It's interesting how relationships, like when you start building those and people you can trust, like people you like, know, and trust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worried about a price point.
Yeah.
Like I know, yes, everyone has a budget, but still, like that's not my first question.
Right. Exactly.
That's probably like my last question.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and think about it. I think there's a certain mindset, which is basically the delayed gratification versus instant gratification thing that people have, because there was I don't know if you've seen it, there's like a whole video on people who have gone into debt in order to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like, I mean, now we spent about $20,000 when we went. Okay,
money.
but we saved.
You planned
it ahead, and we were there for like almost a week, and we stayed at a nice place, and it was
a lot of people there too.
There was a lot of people.
Like 2 people.
Yeah, exactly. But you see all these people, and like they spend all this money. They don't have a very good job. They do this stuff, and a very good point was brought up, which was, if social media did not exist, would it be like this? Because if people can't show that they're doing something, are they willing to put the money out to do it?
No.
You know? And so when you look at people, the way people spend money and everything like that, if it's not a way for them to either gain followers or what is it? Chris Rock said the currency, attention is the currency now.
Right.
You know, that's what the currency is today.
What's funny is Gary Vee canned that probably 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. He's like, our currency is attention, and we need to leverage attention. That's the best thing you can do. If you want to be successful in any business, you leverage attention. Mm-hmm. But so it's like you have. Remember when like we were growing up, like might have had 1 or 2 vacations in our life as a teenager or like preteen or whatever. Like I think we went to Universal Studios and my arm was broken, so I couldn't swim. Like we went to the beach and went to Universal Studios as a kid. That's like the only kid vacation I ever had in my whole life. Right. And then I ended up going later with some friends, like Taylor Logan. Parents took me, but they had more money. You know, they had money, so like I took some money, but they booked whatever. But like just me and my parents went one trip ever vacation. It was to Florida, and my arm was broke, so I couldn't do nothing in the water. And then but I distinctly remember coming back, and you talk about things, but you didn't have a phone to show people. Right. It was like, oh man, we rode the Jaws ride at Universal Studios. It was awesome, and shit blows up, and the shark's about to eat you, and all this.
Right. You lived in the moment while you were there.
Right. But you take it back with you, and you relish in it, and then like the parents may have got one of those photos that cost them $20, you know, during the ride that's sitting on the mantle or whatever. Yeah. But now it's like people act like they're living for experience, but they're just living for
attention.
Yeah. Well, attention and some type of reaction from other people.
Yeah, they're doing shit so that they can post it.
Yeah, to get reactions.
Yeah.
So it's like it's interesting. So it's like now we're flooded with these people that are taking up all this space. It's just like the new. I didn't even know this was a thing, But we were out of town working. We were doing that burrito tour that I've talked to you guys about. And like we were out of town. And well, I hadn't talked to you about it yet, but and so we were going to gyms while we were out of town. Mm-hmm. No, you're good. And I hadn't been into a bro gym in 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. Now these motherfuckers are setting up tripods and recording themselves working out. I was like, dude, I would. Hell yeah.
Damn, okay.
Nice.
I didn't even have anything to drink.
So now these dudes are like setting up tripods and recording themselves. And chicks, I was like, dude, I would have slapped the shit out of you if you got in my way to do some weights because you're setting your tripod up to record yourself.
Well, that's the thing with everything. Everybody's a fucking influencer these days, too.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, my God. Thank you. Please, can we please stop the whole, I'm an influencer. Like I was reading something about one girl had like 4,000 followers and she was at a Formula One paddock and started talking back to a volunteer who was a marshal and they're all volunteers. Everybody in Formula One is volunteers unless you're driving, right. You know. And she was like, well, I've got, I'm so and so and I got this and stuff like that. And Formula One's revoked her paddock pass. Thank you. You need more of that because just because somebody has followers or something like that doesn't mean those people. I know you want like to appeal to a more diverse group of people, but you know what? Are these really the people that you want to be following or being part of your industry or your, thing like that? Now, and what you said, as far as setting up a camera, the dude who does like the calisthenics and he like holds the bar and does,
no, I get it,
dude. I like him.
I get it, but these are just regular motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not like, but even still, like, there's a time and a place for that. But I pay a gym membership not to stand out of your way to be in your and like. We were in there and it wasn't even influenced. So it was like one little chick doing that shit, booty workouts. But then it was another kid who was actually doing Olympic lifting. So I was like, okay, he's looking at his form. He's not putting it like, hopefully that's what he's doing. And he was lifting a lot of fucking
stuff going on.
He was lifting a lot of fucking weight. So I was like, okay. But at the same token, and I had this other kid over here. He was doing something, and we're doing a CrossFit workout in this strength training gym. So it was kind of weird because there wasn't a CrossFit gym nearby. And so we're doing stuff, and we're doing wall walks and shit. And this dude walks up, and he's recording himself doing whatever he's doing. Right. He walks up to us, he's like, dude, y'all motherfuckers are crazy. Y'all doing some crazy shit. I was like, dude, if you go to any CrossFit gym, everyone does this there. Yeah. Like, this is not crazy. But for a gym of that style, it was. Yeah. Like, and then one of the trainers come up, he's like, dude, there's a CrossFit gym, like, right a block down. Yeah. I was like, my bad, it didn't show up on Google, bro, so we ended up here. He's like, I'm just saying y'all are doing like we don't have that much. I was like, my bad, but I met the owner, he was cool. But anyways, it's interesting, man. It's one of those things where it's like, it's the downfall of our current system. We're like in the early stages of the Roman Empire, I believe.
I mean, we see it, in just the food industry where, you get people that come in and they're literally there to fucking rate your shit. And don't get me wrong, to our benefit,
no, it's a good thing.
We have benefited strongly from it because I can't tell you the amount of people that have come in to try that burger because they said, I saw this person on TikTok.
I want to try the pineapple burger, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express, man.
I had so many people, and I've benefited from it, and I'm honestly all for it. Like if that's your game, you want to rate people's food, that's great. The one thing I don't like is when people shit on other people. Right. And it's like, that's the one where it's like, okay, like,
you talking about shit on your product or just shit
luckily we haven't really been shit on, but I'm saying
I've shit on a product.
I've seen posts where like people are like,
this sucks.
I went here and I had this and this.
And if they have a lot of followers, that influences business.
Yes.
And here's the thing, that's a personal opinion.
Right.
Like
do you think negative reviews or positive reviews get more
negative?
1,000%.
And here's my thing though, like, okay, I've been to places to where, like, if me and you were talking, I was like, I didn't care for it, bro. That wasn't my thing. Yeah. But I'm not gonna post about it, right? Because, and I think sometimes people don't realize, like, when they're doing these kinds of things, is that like there is people behind that brand.
They don't care.
They don't know.
You know what I'm saying? There is that, but I'm saying there's people behind that place you went to where you had a bad experience that don't know you had a bad experience.
Yeah,
like there might be an owner back there that's working his fucking ass off that had no clue that bartender treated you like that, that waitress said that to you, or that even made it to your table, and he would have fixed it 100%.
But sometimes the bad experiences are fabricated too. Because Because that's what gets the things. I have a review on Google for a place in Austin that has over 200,000 views. Okay.
All right, Ben, you gonna turn it off?
It was when we were in Coda, and we got a flat tire on the GTR, and I went to this place called Jimenez Tire. You know, there's a little
right.
little thing.
I remember you talk about it on the show.
And Google keeps sending me these updates.
Right, it'll tell you how many people viewed your review. Your
picture, your review has over 250,000 views.
Yes.
And I'm like, cool. I hope to get some business out of that.
Right.
Yeah. You know, that's really cool. I'm not trying to be an influencer or stuff like that. I had a really great experience that I had not planned to have, did not expect to have, and made friends from it. And it was just an amazing part of our Sage and mine weekend, and I wanted other people to know about it, you know? And so things like that. So now, like, if I go to a place, Google's always asking me, what'd you think about this? Okay, well, you know what? The pizza was good, stuff like that. And I don't consider myself any type of thing, but okay, if you're asking me, I'm happy to tell you, because I will tend to look at reviews. Okay, not in somebody's social media post, but on Google or something. I look at their stars,
and I read them, and I look at pictures posted too,
right?
Because you can say it's great, but you could have a shit palette,
dude. Yeah.
So like I do a little bit more investigation than just reading them.
Yeah.
But
I post pictures too. Like,
I'm saying, I tell people that too. Like, read the reviews, because we have a 2-star review on our stuff.
What does it say?
And I'm not being petty.
What does it say?
But it said that, like, they gave us a 2-star review because one of my employees...
Dude, I apologize for that already, okay?
Yeah. One of my employees had the bay door open on a 65-degree day, and they said, we just felt cold at the bar, so we went to somewhere that was warmer next door. So they probably went to Piro and Broadjacks. But regardless, thank you for, supporting the East Bank, but it's like, bro...
Give me
I'm
a
sorry
4,
you were freezing at 65, but like, if you felt that way, like, maybe you could have told my bartender, like, hey, it's a little chilly in here.
We can move you to a table that's closer to the inside.
That doesn't warrant a 2-star.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Anyone who's looking at reviews doesn't scroll and look at the average.
Yeah.
They go and actually vet the reviews. Yep. And it's like, businesses that I work with in marketing are like, oh my God, we got a bad review. I'm like, if every one of your fucking reviews are good, and then you have 1 or 2 bad ones, people can read the room.
Right.
Like the type of clients you want or customers you want, they can tell, okay, well, that's just some asshole.
Yeah, and I always look at the amount too. Like, okay, they're a 4.7, but they got 10,000 reviews. Like,
that's a great average.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been doing pretty good for the most part.
I'm about to pull one from the archives. I'm just going to randomly pick one. All right?
Okay, go grab one. So, but anyway, so back to Sage being in Japan. The World Cup thing. We kept telling him maybe you'll see some people, in Japan. I mean, he didn't end up going to one of the games because the prices were so insane.
Yeah.
How did you end up getting your tickets?
Just had to bite the bullet, and they're honestly, I mean, considering what like some people paid, they were pretty.
So this is one we had. Lower. I don't know how you say that.
Let's see.
Jose.
Lagrimas.
Tears. But not tears of La Llorona.
Yeah, not tears. I don't even remember that one.
All right, so it was on one of the episodes we lost.
Yeah.
Oop, look at there.
Oh, dang.
That's gonna be a problem. I'll get it out while you are talking. Go ahead.
Okay. So so like Sage didn't go, but I told him, he goes. Him and I, every time I go to Dallas, we go to a lot of authentic Japanese places, because there's a place called Mitsuya. That's good in Japan. In Dallas that we go to and get authentic, authentic food and a lot of groceries and a lot of grocery markets and stuff like that. Because, I found that I can find a lot of the food that I used to eat in Hawaii in Dallas.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Aloha made iced tea was my favorite iced tea, and I used to tell my son when I was probably a junior, maybe my senior in high school, I would mow lawns. And I would walk. We didn't have riding lawnmowers. We had push lawnmowers, and I would walk my push lawnmower to this, like, about a mile and a half away to go mow these lawns. And on my way back, there was a vending machine that had Aloha made iced tea, and I would, it probably cost 50 cents, and I'd save my money, and on my way back, I would get an ice cold thing, and I would drink, and I used to think to myself, this must be what, like, people who really love ice cold beer feel like, And that was, to me, that's what it was. It was like, I loved it so much. So every time we go, there's a place, in Mitsuya, they have Aloha made iced tea. So when him and I go and I have like karaage chicken with curry, Good or bad?
It's not bad. It's a complete taste shift.
It's a 180.
It's a shift. Yeah, it's a 360 shit or 180, I guess. Yeah.
Don't smell it first.
If you take a second after, it's not bad.
It tastes better than it.
It's super green.
Right, but
Very green.
But at the back, it's fine. Just
the
it's
back
loud
is fine, but
it's
the
loud
front
up
is-
front. You're like shit, and then
Yeah.
it's okay. It levels out good.
Yeah, but it's a Blanco, right?
Yeah,
It's a plata.
Blanco.
Yeah, it's plata.
So we had this on a lost episode.
You can tell that we didn't really like it.
No.
There's a whole bunch of it left.
Yeah, and
but anyway, so we get the food there. So I get a lot of food from Hawaii there, but he had told Cheryl and I he goes, all right. He came and told us. He says, okay, I'm going to Japan. He goes, now I'm telling you all this in advance because I don't want you all to be like, hey, guess what? We're coming with you because we're like that. And it was funny because when we dropped him off at the airport, he goes, I kind of really wish you guys are coming with me. But he said we all huddle up. He said a prayer. He got on the plane, and the cool thing about it is he had internet access on the plane all the way over. So we were able to message him and everything like that. And he arrived, and he was having some issues with his SIM card. He got an eSIM card, and so it wasn't working because he had to do a certain thing. But so he was screenshotting Google Maps, and he had to try to find a way to the place he was staying. And he finally found it. He was kind of, flustered a little bit, which I can understand. I mean, I've been in foreign countries by myself, and he was kind of, I could tell he was a little bit down. But the next day he went to the Pokemon Cafe. So he had a little bit of an opportunity to acclimate to the time. There was a 7-Eleven down at the bottom of his thing. So he got, and if you don't know about Japanese 7-Elevens, Google it. They're amazing. And he had some food. He went up, and then he went to the Pokemon Cafe, and he started getting into the spirit of it, and he started enjoying it. And he told me, he goes, Dad, today I got lost, and I said, good for you.
Yeah.
Because I used to tell him every time I went to some new country, I'd go get lost, and he never really understood that, but now he understood what I meant by get lost. You just kind of go and you get lost. And so he went to all these places. He traveled on the bullet train. He went to, he saw Mount Fuji without any clouds around it.
Nice.
He went to onsen. And it was like I spent a ton of money. I know he spent a ton of money, but it was like he sent us videos of it, and it was almost like an apartment, but it was built around like a hot spring. And in his hotel room, there was a hot spring that flowed through it, and there was rocks and everything. And he didn't get a chance to have breakfast there, but he said, I'm coming back on my breakfast. So he's going to go again next year. It's kind of one of those things where he's like, I'm going to go again next year, And but I love that. And everything he paid for, it was all paid for before he went.
Right.
He was very smart he's always been very smart with his money. But he went, he did it, he shared it with us. And then when he came back, he brought us all these souvenirs, okay? But here's what he did. Instead of giving us the souvenirs, he went through his photo album, and he showed us day by day what he did. He goes, and I did this, he goes, and then he'd pause it, and he'd go in his bag, and he'd pull out a souvenir from that place.
The company, the photo.
The company,
That's
the
cool.
photos, And he got stuff for our grandson, too, for Hunter. Because Hunter loves Pokemon.
So you had a story attached to it.
He had a story
it meant more so just getting like a
oh my God, it was
souvenir,
so amazing. And so, he did it, and he still kept in touch with the lady that he had met on the plane, because she had a daughter that lives in Dallas.
Oh, nice.
And so, they started following him on Instagram. But one thing that he did is he got about 4 little Buc-ee's keychains, little Buc-ee's, because he wanted to, anytime somebody did something nice to him, he wanted to give them a gift.
Yeah.
Because giving a gift to somebody in Japan is very high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, look up the foreigner who got
at the Mexican
at the
restaurant?
Mexican restaurant. Yes. Who got
wild.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah, dude,
there's
that was
a
wild.
guy on the internet who
It was during
Japanese.
the World Cup, right? It was
Yeah,
the
during the
World
World
Cup
Cup. He was
stuff.
Japanese. He went to a Mexican restaurant, and they brought him chips and salsa. He hadn't even ordered yet. He goes, why are you giving me this? Because in Japan, when you give somebody something, you have to give something in return. And it has to be more than what they gave you. And he was like, they gave me all this on faith. I haven't even paid for anything yet. I haven't paid for it. But look it up, because it's really, really good. It's good. He said it's like
cool.
paying a double debt, that fact that somebody did something. So he took these with him, and he gave one to the lovely lady that sat next to him, and he gave some to a few other people, like in the hotels and stuff like that. And then he told me he was he was trying to get to a place, and he was kind of confused about the way the thing was, and he met this this beautiful Japanese lady, Japanese girl who was in a golden kimono, who probably worked at a hotel or something, and she kind of noticed he was kind of confused, and she went up and started talking to him in Japanese, and he started talking back to her, and he said, I need to get to da-da-da. And she goes, oh, you need to do this, you need to go here. And he goes, and he gave her one of the things, right? And because she was so kind. And she goes, oh, and she grabs it and she holds it up against her face and stuff like that. And he gets on the train and then turns around and looks at her and goes, oh, shit. I want to know who this person is. And the doors closed and the train left.
This is opportunity.
Like, dude,
missed opportunity.
Next time, put your Instagram or something on the thing, But it's, so he's like, my golden geisha, I've lost her forever, But he had a really good time, and he came back. I want to say he came back a different person. Now, I will say this: when he moved away from us, he lived through the Snowmageddon in Dallas, and when they had 4 days of no power, no heat, no nothing, and he survived it. And I always believe everybody has to go through a tempering. You have to go through something that makes you stronger, that makes you I've never protected him from things. I've always just tried to guide him from making mistakes. So when that happened, we had no control of how he reacted to it or how he did it. But he persevered. He came through us. I said, you went through something that was pretty heavy duty. And then when he started texting me from Japan going, I'm this and I'm that, it's like, dude, you're in fucking Japan.
Yeah.
By yourself. He goes, you're right. I am. I'm by myself, dude.
Damn right.
And I'm doing this, and he went out there, and there's a whole Japanese horse racing thing that Cheryl and I have now gotten involved in, and all these other things. But there's pride that you feel as a parent in certain things a child does. When they graduate from school or they do something, they win something. To see your daughter become a mother and become an amazing mother, just like her mom. To see your other daughter, who never really knew what she wanted to do with her life, become a jet engine mechanic as a female in a world dominated by males who can tell them you're doing it wrong, or can say, this is what you need to do, and do it with confidence because she's brilliant. And then to have your son, who never really went anywhere on his own, ever in his entire life, go to another country for 2 weeks and survive, and not only survive but thrive and love it and enjoy it so much that he wants to go back. As a parent, you go, we did a good job.
Yeah,
we did a good job.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm way far behind on that. I'm proud. We all ran a 5K together Sunday morning. Yeah. So I was I'm proud for that.
And I have to tell you this, I love how much you love your family, how much your family's together, because there are times when, people say, oh, we left the kids at home. Cheryl and I never left the kids at home.
Oh, I leave the kids at home, but it's just to run like somewhere down the road. It's not like,
but when
if they don't want to go somewhere.
When Cheryl and I went, because I was to tell
But you're talking about like for experiences.
Yeah, for experiences, and every time, because Cheryl and I are talking about, our Lindsay and her family, they always go to Destin for like a week. They go stay there for a week, and they send us, and we love it. We love it for them. And we don't do that because I try to remind her that, all of our vacations were based around your dance competitions.
When was the last time you had one?
We haven't had one, but
you need to have one.
But I'm gonna tell you this:
it's not based around kids.
It's not, because here's what's gonna happen. My wife is turning years old, and my son is turning 30, same year, and so we're gonna go to Universal Orlando.
Nice.
On an adult trip.
For no kids.
No kids.
You need it.
We invited. Well, we invited all our family.
Right.
Our daughter, who has children, doesn't think they can make it because they have other obligations. Right. Okay. Because here's the deal. I don't like when we went to Disney World last time. It didn't matter if I rode a ride. The fact to watch my grandson experience it was the greatest thing for me. And on my computer in my studio, you can look at it. My screensaver is the photo album from that. And every time I say, oh, my beautiful angel, oh, I remember that experience,
right.
But we're going to go and
But it's still cool to
go as an adult.
have your own thing.
To as an adult.
It just where you experience it without. That's cool too. Like, right.
So we're going to go. So Cheryl and Sage and probably my oldest daughter Chelsea. We're all going to go. Probably in November. We're going to go to Universal Orlando. Spend a couple of days there. We're going to go, and I still have free passes to Disney World. So we're going to probably go experience some of the Christmas stuff over at that time. But Cheryl, and I've said this about my wife. My wife has put everybody else before herself so many times. Her mom, her family, her aunt. That when she stopped working, her full-time job was taking care of her special needs aunt, passed away, and then taking care of her mom. Okay. People don't realize how much work it takes to take care of a person. I read something the other day that said one mom can take care of 5 children, but 5 children can't take care of one mom.
That's crazy too, right? That's the truth.
That's the total truth. It's the total truth. So she's kind of put everything, her life on hold. When we had to close the business, all that stuff. And so she's kind of discovering in her own new thing, a new path for herself. Now she doesn't have to take care of her mom. She has to take care of Deborah. She can kind of do what she wants to do, and she's a substitute teacher, and she's been blessed enough that she gets to substitute at our grandbaby's school. It's a private school, but she gets to substitute there. She gets to see him, and so when you get older, and again, like I said, you're in line. Next, if you're next, what are you going to do with this, from this point to this point? This is your life. What are you going to do? And I've looked back at my life, and I think about when I was younger and all the goals and things that I had. And I know I'm going off on a total tangent, but all the things that I thought I'd be at a certain point in my lifetime, where I would be and what I would do. None of them have come. Not one of them.
It changes, man. It changes.
But
yeah,
you're right, because my goals have changed, because my thought process has changed. Things that I feel are more valuable have changed.
Well, your goals you had were just yours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then as soon as you get married and you have a kid and another kid, your goals are shared with all of them.
And then you have a grandchild, and you go, you know what? If I never do this something that I want to do in my life, it doesn't matter, because we are so blessed that we get a chance to have our grandchildren one night a week. So they come stay with us, and they're so, what, Papa, when are we coming? Are we coming Thursday night? Friend, when are we coming? And I got to give this up to my son too, Sage. He's a, what I guess you would call him a collector. When I know I talked about this before, but when he was really into Lego, okay, and Lego, he wanted the Indiana Jones Lego set. It was like $80. He's like, Dad, I can't afford that. It's like, well, write Lego and tell him you can't afford it. Ask him how come it's so expensive. So he did. And Lego came back and they said, thank you for your letter. You make a very good point. We want to let you know that the reason it costs us much is because we do this, and we do this, and we do this. And we still has the letter. They said, and we'd like to honor you. Thank you for your letter, and we'd like to give you a honorary a membership into our Lego, something like that. So throughout his life, he's bought a whole bunch of Legos. Okay, so he's had all this. He has every SpongeBob Lego. He's got every Formula One Lego. Well, my grandkids, okay, my grandboys, he has Lego sets, SpongeBob Lego sets that if he sold them today would be worth thousands of dollars.
Right.
Okay. Guess who gets to play with them? His nephews. Right? We take them out. We play with them. We have pictures of it. We play. And Sage says, you know what? I would rather they play with them than they collect dust.
Yeah. Or to get the little quick money off of it.
Because he doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
Okay. And so like he has all this Formula One, his Ferrari Formula One stuff. And so what's funny is they had to graduate to.
Is he still working for Ferrari?
Yeah, he still works for Ferrari. He still works for Ferrari. He's enjoying it. Ferrari, that dealership was bought by the same guy who owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, by the way.
Okay.
Things are different. Things have changed, but he enjoys it, and he always sends me pictures. And in fact, he got a chance to drive his first Lamborghini Countach. And he took a picture, and he sent me a picture of me and my first Lamborghini Countach, and him and his first Lamborghini Countach. I was like, oh, my baby. But some people would be like, don't let them touch my stuff, because Sage still has a room at our house. So when he comes stay with us, it's still his room, just like he left it. Okay, and he's got all this cool stuff, and my grandsons love to go in his room and see stuff and play with stuff. I'm like, okay, well, we got to put this away if you're going to play with this, because we can't come, we can't do this. And I remember I was telling Cheryl this the other day. I remember when I would go to my grandparents' house, I loved it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was that smell.
Yeah.
You stay on grandma's bed that had like the crochet thing.
Yeah.
When Hunter was born,
There's nothing on TV.
Right. Exactly. When Hunter was born, I built him a nursery in my house, the Toy Story room. It looks exactly like Andy's room. The clouds, everything, you know. And so when our boys come to our house, they have their own space. Okay. Our house we call it Disney World, because when they come to our house, we have 1 billion toys. We got 1,000 Hot Wheels. We got all these Legos. And even Lindsay said, you know, G keeps talking about Legos, SpongeBob Legos. So Sage had all the SpongeBob Legos, you know. And we got online. So we got online, looked, right? Some of his sets, $700-800.
Crazy.
If you sold them right now. But you know what? Sage was like, I won't sell them. They get to play with them. And they're much better that they play with them. And so, you know, he has taught me a lot of things too about the value of things are not necessarily monetary, it's how you feel. And as the older I get, I've also realized, you know, experiences are much more valuable than investments.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
Things like that. But, you know,
More?
No, I'm good. I think that having the fact that our grandchildren love to come see us. They are like, when we come in again, you know, and we would never move, you know. You could give us, hey, we're going to do, I mean, our house is almost paid off, but we would never move because we have the opportunity to be close to our grandchildren. And if we don't see them every day, and it's one thing that I talked about at the funeral. I said, you know, I used to wonder why, you know, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law started a business, and both of their sons worked for them. And when we moved over here, their daughter worked for them too, and then I worked for them as well. And I used to think, you know, my God, you know, you see your kids every day. But then I used to tell Cheryl, you know, we'd have to go to Thanksgiving. We had to go to her mother's house for Thanksgiving. We had to go to her mother's house for Christmas, you know. And I'm like, God, we see them every freaking day, you know. And I said at her funeral, I said, I have come to realize that just because I see my children and my grandchildren every single day doesn't mean I don't want to see my children and my grandchildren every single day.
Yeah.
You know? And so
you take it for granted. It's like anything else. You get,
yeah, you know. Yeah. I think we spent one Thanksgiving and one Christmas away from here during that time, because, you know, she was the kind of woman like we'd never hear the end of it. Yeah. You know, type of thing. But but you know, and here's the deal. We want to give. What's funny is that now that we are the patriarchs or the matriarchs of the family, we're like, you know, this Christmas, everybody kind of wants to do their own thing this Christmas,
little.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, you say that.
Yeah.
You say that.
Why not?
And we had to stop and think about that for a minute and go, you know what?
Well, you afraid if you do it one time that it'll never happen again?
We're just afraid to miss something.
It happened. It happened on my dad's side. So my grandmother and my grandfather passed. And she was the one that held it all together, and it just went away. And then nobody gets together anymore. We've
kind of figured out that we're probably going to always have Thanksgiving together, okay? And then Christmas, if we're all here, if Lindsay's not in Hawaii or Chelsea's not traveling or Sage's not in Japan, we'll have it here. But we're not going to say, hey, every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, this is the menu, this is the itinerary. Yeah. There is no exception.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: was the original aspect? I mean, I say original. I say like when it first started happening. Let's say when your kids started moving out, or your kids started like leaving the home. They start seriously dating somebody. That's what we're going through.
I know.
They start seriously dating someone. They're transitioning into possibly marriage, and even now marriage. You know, they have their own families. The beginning of it, how hard was that to be like, okay, now, because we just dealt with that with. I'll tell you our part first. Zoe's in a very serious relationship, so this is like the first time that we've dealt with the whole like.
Where are you gonna go?
They're not. You know, our Thanksgiving plans aren't her Thanksgiving plans. You know, whereas we're like, she stopped by for 2 hours and then they have to go over here. Mm-hmm. Christmas, same thing. They have to do this, and you know, me, I roll with the punches. You know, and I'm not saying that I'm unsympathetic or I'm don't feel it, but obviously, like for my wife, like this stuff has been like really hard for her, where it's like,
no, I get
she's
it.
not just with us at all fucking times, and it's one of those things where it's like,
I'm gonna tell this may not be the I'm gonna tell you something. It's not gonna necessarily be the answer to your question, but I will answer your question. And this is something you have to think about too. Okay, when your child decides to share their life with somebody else, okay, there's a lot of apprehension. There's a lot of fear. For me, my greatest fear for my children was that, please God, let them be with somebody who doesn't take advantage of them, doesn't abuse them, doesn't abuse their children.
Yeah.
Who respects them as a person, who I don't have to necessarily get along with that individual. That's not important. What's important is that they're happy.
Right.
My daughter Lindsay, who's married to Trey, one thing I love about their relationship is when Lindsay goes here, he goes here. And he makes a joke.
Yeah.
And she laughs. And he brings her down. And I love the fact that he knows who she is and that he can control her, but he can control the narrative of where this is going to go.
Yeah.
He doesn't add fuel to the fire. Mm. He douses it by humor, by being a person going, come on, Lynn, come on, don't be that. And like on Father's Day, I sent him a card. I said, you know what, Trey? I said, I could have never imagined a better father, a better husband to my daughter, and a better father to my grandchildren than who you are. Okay? Never. I could have never imagined that. Now, when I married Cheryl, I stopped going to my family things because her family things had things established. Okay, my family was always a little bit here or there.
That's kind of the same with us.
Kind of like because my dad was in the military, so we always did things in New Mexico and Las Cruces because that's where my grandmother was. But then my grandmother passed away, and so things kind of when somebody passes away, everything kind of goes in a separate way. But I will say this. And take this as what you will, from a biblical standpoint, I always used to tell my parents, look, I am who I am because of how you raised me, okay? But also, when a man marries a woman, the two become one. He leaves his family and they cleave and become one. They have to have the opportunity to be independent, okay? There's a lot of meddling in families who, when you marry somebody, the mother-in-law wants to do this, the father-in-law wants to, there's a lot of meddling. I remember when Lindsay started dating Trey, they went to, I think, what was the concert? Miley Cyrus. They went to a Miley Cyrus concert, okay? And Trey picked her up to go to the concert. I said, hey, let me give you, I said, give me your phone number just in case I need to get a hold of you. He goes, you know what? This is my phone. He goes, you know what? Give me your phone number too, just in case I need to get, I said, you got it, okay? And so I knew that somebody was looking out for her, When it came to the point of, do we go to this family's thing or do we go to that family's thing? A lot of it is, it's kind of like law. When you do something that becomes a precedence.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, there's precedence of this or that. A lot of it is, can we meet in the middle somewhere? I told Cheryl I wanted to have something for my family. I wanted to have a Christmas Eve thing with my family, something I wanted to establish, that everybody comes to my house, or my kids come to my house, we had to do this. We weren't able to do that. So you know what? No, fine, whatever. Something I wanted, I couldn't have it. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Fact of the matter is, everybody's happy. Okay? Now, I will say I'm not going to say I didn't have to hear it from my mom that we didn't go do these things, we do that. But here's the deal. My mom knew that it wasn't because I didn't want to. Okay? It was because although I love you and you gave birth to me and you raised me, I have a family now. And this is my responsibility. This is what I have to do. And I want my wife to be happy because if my wife doesn't do this, she's never going to hear the end of it. And if she never hears the end of it, I'm never going to hear the end of it. And like the other day when one of the dogs was barking, she said, oh, you're going to let him in? I was like, all I care about is peace. I don't care about justice. I just want peace, But here's the deal. You let them do it the first time, okay? And then you say, no problem, do this year, but do me a favor. Next year, can we do this? You know? Don't say, oh, you got to do it. Say, hey, go ahead.
Don't make them feel bad.
Go do it. Go do it. We'd like to, but you know what? We're always going to do this. Yeah. And you're always welcome.
Yep. You're always invited. This is what we're going to do.
And so if you go do this, you have a great time, no problem. We're always going to do this. If you don't come for Christmas, if you don't come for Thanksgiving, please come for Christmas. Just give us one. One or the other. We don't want all of your time.
Well, it's just like when you're young, you're like, as soon as someone tells you something you have to do, you're not going to do it. So it's more like, hey, you know what we do.
Yep.
You're always invited. We hope you're here. Like, I feel
and the thing about it is, did you go because you wanted to, or did you go because you had to?
Exactly. When you want to, it's different. Like, I there was times, holidays and family stuff, I would migrate to the other thing because that no one made me feel like I had to go, because I had stepdad, stepmom, mom, dad, so like it was like wherever there was a path of least resistance where I flocked to, because I didn't want to feel like I had to be here.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was funny because it was like this family, they somehow worked it out where it's like with everyone's, I don't know how it worked out, but it's like this family, we went to this side of the family for Christmas lunch, and then we went to this side of the family for Christmas dinner, and then we went to the same thing for Thanksgiving. So like, and it somehow I ended up with like 4 Thanksgivings and 4 Christmas.
Right.
It was just like, dude, it's like, and then everybody was like, well, we can't have this because everybody hunts. I'm like, well, I'm doing it. I was just, when I got grown, I was like, this is what we're fucking doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not hunting on Thanksgiving because that's a day where everybody's supposed to hang out. We're going to do this. And if y'all don't fucking come at this time, well, then go ahead. You can hunt every weekend, the whole season, whatever. Like, it's like, I'm not changing the entire atmosphere of how we do things for 2 individuals. You know what I mean? When there's 30 individuals involved.
Right. And I mean, and like this, like the 4th of July, I was going to do something at my house. I was like, hey, because Sage was coming into town. I'm like, anybody wants to come? I'm going to barbecue. I mean, I've got, my green egg that Trey gave me, and I love it. And I'm going to make some burgers. I'm going to do this. Anybody who wants to come can come. And I told Lindsay too. I was like, hey, you want to come? And they had plans. They were going to do something. And then she said, you know what? We're not going to go do that. If y'all want to come to the house and swim and do it here, you're welcome to do it. So I asked Cheryl and Sage. They're like, cool. So we went to her house on 4th of July. Not that it's going to be an annual thing.
Right.
Just the fact that we went and did it. And it was really funny is that I told Trey, because I bought because I know he likes a certain kind of burger, so I bought that patty. Okay, and I took it, and he's got a bigger green egg at his house, and I said, I had the burgers, and I said, are we cool? I said, because I don't come into another man's house and handle his grill. He's like, no, please go right ahead. I don't want to cook. So, I made it, and he's got a much larger, and it cooks. I tell you, a green egg, the size of the green egg,
makes a difference.
They cook different.
I have the big, he has the XL. I have the
he's got the big one, and it cooks a lot different than mine. Okay, but so I made him some burgers, and we all had a good time, and we swam, and we laughed, and we had a good time, and I told as we left, I told my wife and Sage, it's like, is it just me, or did that little small event that we had without drama and everything, was that a lot more fun than some of the other events we've had? And they go, yeah, it was a lot of fun, because it was just us. Now
there's no expectations.
Yeah. Now to me, if I was a millionaire, billionaire, I would have a huge house, and my goal and my dream in my life is to have a compound. And I know you've seen this before. You've got a compound, you've got everybody, your children's houses, you've got this, you've got a main house, and everybody has their own space, but everybody can come home.
Yep.
And we still have Sage's room like it is, because we want to come home. Chelsea can come stay whenever time she wants, and the boys have their own room. Of course, the boys sleep with me in my bed when they come and stay. So I've got 2 boys and a dog sleeping in my bed. But what's funny is Hunter has his TV over here, G has his TV over here. They both have their own thing. And so I'm like, you know what? Yeah, my grandkids really love come to our house, because they get everything that they get everything that they want. And every time it happens, I appreciate it. I remember I told you this one time. I said, every time Hunter or Gray are sleeping in my bed, I hold them. I thank God. I say, thank you for this moment. Remember this moment. It's not going to happen. It's not always going to be. One day Hunter's going to get old, and he's not going to want to sleep at Papa's bed anymore. He's going to sleep in his own bed. He's going to want to do his own thing. And so the fact that he he lets me still hug him and kiss him and tell him I love you, love you, love you, love you. And every time I say goodbye, I say I love you, I love you. I say it like 10 times because I don't know when I'm going to see him again. So I give him a love you for every time I don't see him. And, the fact that I didn't, quote unquote, achieve all the things that I thought I would when I was younger because I didn't know where I'd be.
Right.
I'm happier now where I'm at than I ever thought I would be.
Well, you have more. That's what's interesting, right? It's like me too. I had all these things I said I wanted to do, and then things change. Yeah. And those things that I wanted to do, I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
So did I answer your question?
Yeah.
That was a long ass answer.
That was a long ass answer.
But it's not even for me, man. It's I've always been such a roll with the punches guy that I'm just like whatever.
Yeah. But you have to hear about it.
I mean, holidays to me, honestly, like it sounds fucked up, but holidays to me, like I'm gonna be that guy on the couch that's gonna drink a couple beers and fall asleep because that's my day off. Like I've been fucking grinding So
for me now, we're typically working. So it's like it's interesting now. The hang is not at the house cooking for me anymore in this industry, especially with partners like you and whoever.
Yeah.
It's like when we get done with that job, go sit at a bar and have a drink and have a meal. That's like the hang for me now. It's not like it's changed so much, man. It's interesting. So like I look forward to those moments more than I do like everyone coming over because it's like, dude, that's a task because guess what? Who gets voluntold to cook?
Yep.
Well, I've said thank you for always inviting me to everything that you do, that little family things you do. I feel like I'm part of your family.
Yeah, I haven't had any in a while. I think you've been to every one that I have had.
I appreciate it. Thank you for always asking me to judge your events. I love it. I love, Meeker gives me a hug. Him and I have the same birthday, and he tells me he loves me. I tell him I love him back. And so what's really crazy is all of this relationship. When you think about when you think about things in your life, you think about the moment that these things happen. None of this, or at least you and me, you guys probably would still be where you're at now, but you and I and our relationship together, none of this would have happened had Brian Meeker had not come into the Laser's Edge one day looking for a printer for an event they were having in Minden. Yeah, we lent him we got one you can have it, take it, bring it back whenever you want, and then he's like, well, talking about BNI, and then you and I became, joined BNI, and then, you and I became friends like that, and when you take a look at certain things in your life and you go, a lot of things happened, if one little thing had been different, things wouldn't have happened that way they did.
Well, I think our perspective is different because like, look at how many people met people through connections over the years.
That one last time.
This one?
Zumba to work.
Okay. Like how many people met people and did things? They never ran a line back to how they, like, we're having this conversation. Remember this and this, and it's segued to this. I think it's interesting because we have perspective. There's so many people that don't have perspective, and they're like, yeah, I've just known so and so forever, but they can't draw a line back to it and see how important that person is in their life. And for us, it's like, Jose and I have known each other forever. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I started getting an entrepreneur spirit and I saw what he was doing, and I was like, dude, there's only a handful of us from our class that are doing, not saying doing something with their life, but doing something like this.
Right.
Because I'm proud of everybody. Like there's so many successful people. But there's nobody doing anything like this like we are. And I'm like, you got to come over here. We got to talk about it. And it's like, then I'm just hammering. I'm like, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to go for it. And same thing with you. It's like, I never would have thought that I'd have met someone, how much older are you than me?
A lot.
Like
no,
15.
I'm 53.
Okay. So, 18 years older than me, like that would have been one of my best friends. Like just because randomly we got in a group together and started talking. It's like, dude, just like it's interesting, but we can draw lines back and say this is the moment that happened. Right. Where a lot of people can't because they're just it's not as significant, or I just think they lack.
They're letting the ocean or the waves take them where instead of steering the boat, they're allowing the tide to take
them. They're the passenger, not the captain.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
We're captains, and it's not an ego thing. It's just like that's how our lives.
I love that, dude. Yeah, and it's a fucking rocky road too. I mean, we navigating in calm seas.
Uncharted water. Yeah. Oh, and what's crazy is I listen to a lot of books. I can't read I can read, but I won't say I can't read. I can read, but
you can't focus.
Dude. Yeah. My ADHD. I'm like I can absorb a chapter in a book, if somebody speaks it to me, far greater than I can if I can read it.
Yeah.
Take it what you can, blah, blah, blah. I'm glad I never had an AR goal because I would have never met it. You know, AR is like advanced reading.
Yeah, I was like, I was a gangster at that. I'm not anymore.
But like, I'm finishing up the Bob Iger book, Ride of a Lifetime. Okay. And, you know, he was the CEO of Disney, and then he wasn't, then he is again. But what's very interesting is I love listening to the stories of successful people. Not where they're at now, but everything they had to go through to get to where they're at. And it's very interesting. And every time I listen to something that, it inspires me to go, I still have a little of that in me. I still have a little bit of that drive and that personality in me. Now,
what do you do with it now?
Now, exactly. Where do I direct it?
Yes, because you have to. Because if you don't, it's going to eat you up.
Now I'm still painting. I'm still doing some things. And every day I think, okay, I need to do a little bit of this and I need to do a little bit of that.
You still got to paint the side of 7th Tap, bro.
So I got to. I'm working on a really big mural for a friend of mine right now. But you know, when I listen to things, I go, okay, I get it. I listen to these books and I get it. It's not like, why would you want to do that? Or why, that doesn't make any sense. No, I 100% understand the mindset, the motivation, the obstacles, the choices that they made. I totally get it and understand it, and it gives me it gives me comfort knowing that, you know, where I am in my life and the things that I've done. Again, like I said, if my life was different, I didn't have my wife and my children and my grandkids, I would not be as happy as I am today. But I also think to myself, why can't you have that, but also, you know, go on these paths? Because something Lee Cockrell, I heard him say one time, it says, you know what, 5 years is going to pass no matter what. Okay? And people say, well, I don't want to do that because it's going to take 5 years to do that. I don't want to do this because it's going to take this time. That time's going to pass no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay? So you can either do that within that time or not do that, but it's going to happen. So if it's something you want to do, then do it.
Yeah. Well, let's end on that because I got some prior engagements. But before we end, I want to get back to doing this at least every other month.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because we fell behind, and I feel like all of our schedules kind of we're a little more. I think we're a little more in charge of our schedules these days than we had been previously.
Yeah. Definitely.
So we can make it happen. So we got a lot to catch up on. We got about 3 episodes.
Well, let me close in saying, extremely proud of you. Extremely proud of you. All the things that I see on and they're working.
Yeah.
All the little things, the little girls that do little things, they're great. They're
People
funny.
want to be entertained these days.
I love it. It's entertaining.
No, I'm gonna tell you this. Before we end, I read that somewhere that like when it comes to like the business stuff, like real quick, it says that like people know your product already. They know the beer, they know the burger, they know this. They want to be entertained. They want to know why they need to come back to see you.
That's right.
Look, and I completely agree, man. I think there's value, but you have to hold value.
Yeah.
Like you establish value, you present value, but then at some point you have to hold it.
Right.
Because
like we spoke about customer service earlier, how it's done, and it is done in a lot of fucking places. It really is. And so that is the number one thing I harp on with my girls. Customer service, customer service, customer service, but also you are a brand in yourself within the 7th Tap. There's people that come to see you. Yep. They know that burger's good. They know what beer they're having, but they know that you're behind the bar. So you have to sell yourself as a brand every fucking day, and you got to provide the best. We don't sell burgers. We don't sell beer. We sell experiences. That's right. And that is the goal. And I think that for people out there, that is what you need to like focus on, you know. So,
all right. So
end on that.
What's our winner?
You know, I've gone twice back to this one. That's Bonita. I've gone twice back to that because I really, really like it.
Jose?
Now, as far as if I'm short of cash and I need a good tequila, this is my go-to.
For the value that is amazing.
Yeah,
I think the Authentico for me.
Authentico is going to be my pick.
Yeah.
Are we going to outweigh you today, Ben?
Go for it. Espanita, I actually enjoyed this.
2-1.
I did. Yeah, because it wasn't actually that much more. It wasn't that much more. It was like I said. This was like 27. This is what 37.
Authentico. It was 48.
48. All right. Well, here's the deal. If I'm by myself, I'm buying this. If I got people at my house, I'm buying that.
Authentico.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's a wrap. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.